Ben here from The Hobbyist. I wanted to show you guys today one of the latest things that I've been working on. You can see right here. I finally got the time to an opportunity to print my own book frame. It's kind of a culmination of a couple different things. Good friend kind of loaned me the use of his Form 2 printer while he was away. So I was able to get some prints in, and good opportunity to do a little bit of modeling and try to put something pretty cool together. So I just wanted to take you guys through the process real quick of what I did here. It was kind of an iterative process, as you can imagine. First and foremost, I think it's important to note that printing on the Form 2 meant, obviously with the type of printer that it is, I was printing with resin. There's obviously lots of plus sides to the resin. It's an awesome material. The intricate detail. This actually is very strong, and it's actually not that heavy. It weighs in about 3.4 grams approximately, about any good book frame. So weight's pretty good. Unfortunately, it is very brittle. So even the lightest crash, it's going to break somewhere. So that's sort of the downside to that. But I am having it printed. I sent it off to Shapeways. I'm having it printed in a few different, or not a few, but another material to see what's going to happen there. So just to kind of take you through real quick, what I did first was just to get the 3D printing down was I had just downloaded one model that I found off of Thingsverse, and that looked pretty cool. It had the general kind of shape idea that I want to do. Obviously, you can see it broke. I crashed. Most of these are going to be like this. It was kind of a bitch to install, though. It wasn't the easiest installation, but I got it all working. You can see how it's just flat. There was no mount points. They weren't exactly lined up, so things were a little bit of a pain in the butt. But fluid. This actually flew pretty good, and it was encouraging. So from there, I sort of moved on. I kind of this was my first design. I wasn't checking my sizes very well, and it was just so teeny tiny and flimsy, and there's just no way this was going to happen. So that one's gone. So of course, then I went the complete opposite because I figured first I want a successful frame, and here comes in Big Bertha. This. I knew when I saw it and picked it up, this was going to be a problem. This weighs in, it's somewhere around 12 grams. So it did actually fly. I proved the overall design, which was pretty cool, but it drained the battery very quickly, and it just flew like a Cadillac. I mean, it did not fly well. The center of gravity was off. Anytime I tried to make a sharp turn with it, I just was rolling over. But this is super strong. I mean, this one's, I don't think, gonna break. So from there, I went, did a little bit more. I actually came out with, I actually printed another one. What I really call my first successful design here, really based on that kind of first one I started with, where this part's covering. You have the whole docked around, but it's really just this part that's actually covering the blade, right, directly. But the install's nice. It fits on the frame, the controller, flight controller fits on these mounts very nicely. Everything measured out really well. It was kind of a beauty to install. Just everything slipped right in, so that was always feels good. This one is same design. I crashed it. You can see that I was kind of figuring at this point how brittle this was going to be, and this was a hard kind of a hard hit. So. I was still continuing. So I printed this one out just to have, this extra one. I haven't really filmed this frame, but I'm sure it'll break very easily. From there, I basically moved on to a couple different ones here. Basically, these are almost all, again, similar design, but you can see, the commonality between here. It's like the ducks. It's just, that's where it breaks, right? You hit things, you smash, and those plastic ones just hold up. I mean, look at all these frames I've just shown you. All these have broke pretty much on the first flight, right? Whereas, I fly a lot and I have a few different whoops and I crash a lot. Obviously, we all do. And I'm going to beat the crap out of mine. And the frames, I've only gone through maybe like 2 frames, which is, I think, shocking. So, yeah, these didn't all work out. Coming to this guy here. Flies great though. Again, the weight's just right, and because it's not quite as flexible, and it's actually pretty strong and stable, the flight characteristics were really nice. Unfortunately, as you'll see in the video that I'm going to show of the first and only flight, I printed 2 of these frames. I specifically saved this frame so I had one to show. Very first flight this morning, I crashed and I broke. So you'll get to see the video of that, and here's sort of the results and a picture of kind of the post-mortem of what that looked like here. So as you can imagine, from looking here, the weak points, of course, are just on the struts, or on like where it meets the ducts, basically. The problem is I can reinforce it in a lot of different places, and I'm just going to be adding more weight to it, and ultimately I think it's always just going to break at whatever the weakest point is, and just this material, it's just not really conducive to this. So some people have already asked me about posting the model. I intend to do so. I just want to test first, because I was doing this and I really dialed it in, over every design here. I made, minor changes to how it all mounted at pretty much every single time to try to get that perfect fit. And my concern is that when it's printed on another material, like a plastic, a PLA or ABS or something like that, it may not be exactly the same. So I did put it up on Shapeways to get printed, and I looked at all my material options, and I was getting warnings on pretty much most of the materials, basically due to the thinness, the thin walls that I have. How you can see them here, just on the mount points for the flight controller. Because it's hollow inside, and for this coming out of the form, it's perfect. I mean, like I said, it's perfect fit, screen, everything, and it's nice, the right amount of tension. It feels really good. We're gonna see how it comes out. The only material that it looked pretty good that I didn't get any warnings on was the HP nylon plastic. So that is what I have going on right now. It is in production. I hope to get it next week. It could be the following week. Once I see how that is, I want to try 2 things actually. One, just to see the success of the print itself, to see that it is coming out consistently the same, hopefully, as this one. And then also, of course, is that a more viable material? What is the weight going to be like? Flight characteristics, and then of course just durability. So, that's kind of the deal with all this. That like the flight characteristics and the weight of the material is really surprisingly good. It's just, like I said, it's just way too brittle. I do have a few different types of resin to try. This was just with the standard gray resin, the standard resin that comes with the form. There is, of course, a number of different types of resins. The other one I have to try that we want to check out is the tough resin. Of course, as the name implies, it is tougher. It is, I'm assuming denser and stronger, but potentially more brittle. So we're going to see. We'll try that too and test this out, see how it all works. When I post the model, feel free to do what you want with it, everybody. I will try to print or post wherever I post it 2 versions of the model. For those of you that just want to go straight into printing it and you don't want to mess with the model and you just want to print this particular one right here, I will put a high poly version of it. That is the one that you'll want to print, so everything comes out all nice and smooth. For those of you that like me that want to actually get into the design part of it, I have a low poly model there. I built my mesh with subdivision in mind, so you can easily adjust the design, change things however you want. It's all separate pieces, which is pretty cool. You can kind of manipulate everything, and then just mind your edge loops, and you can just subdivide it back down, right? And then get the nice smooth model here. So hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll have more to come. Exciting stuff in the future, so we'll see what happens. Thank you very much, and please remember to subscribe.
One-way wolf, you are witnessing a one-way wolf. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do, 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 One-way wolf, you are witnessing a one-way wolf. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do, 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 you are witnessing the one-way wolf.